All right, folks, the start of an exciting day. I'm out on the range. We're about to see Mike and Mary show up along with the other students, and we got a fun day. Pistol 1 is today, Pistol 2 is tomorrow, and we're gonna throw it all to you as you're gonna gain a little bit of information and give you some pretty cool montage shooting things. They're coming into this and they have one gun. They don't have a lot of shooting training. They've gone through a concealed carry class, but it was really more cerebral, and now we are putting hands on guns, lots of cool stuff, including fighter mindset. They'll probably feel a bit like they're drinking water out of a fire hose, but people learn a whole lot, and it's really fun to see the transformation. Should be a really good experience. You're gonna glean something for it, but I gotta give up the instructor heart. I mean, wants to be like, dude, it's good to watch. You can learn something by watching, but ultimately you do need to go ahead and get some training wherever that may be, right? So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and pull them onto the range and we're gonna start this thing. Tactics trump skills. He's back, wonderful.
I didn't grow up in a family where guns were ever around.
Give some shocks on that car with a slight bend. Have these concentric circles way outside your home so that they don't even want it. Yeah, shooting's fun, man. I'm not necessarily after making you the best shooters in the world, though that is my goal. You know, in some degree, it's more of a means to an end for me. There's a lot of really good shooters that suck at fighting. Tactics trump skills. Tactics trump skills. And if you don't know where to be on a battlefield, as a civilian, military, law enforcement, whatever, if you don't know where to be, when to be there, how long to stay, where to go, if you don't understand the timing and the angles of a battlefield, you are pathetically easy to kill. That's what really moves the needle in fight-winning capability. That means you shoot them and you don't get shot. It's knowing where to be and when to be there. It's knowing how long to stay there and when you need to go. Of like, oh, this cover has expired. I need to move. And if you don't know how to read a battlefield and immediately adjust to it, you're easy to kill. So let's go ahead and get that out of there with a big thumbs up. Finger's still off the trigger. We'll go ahead and turn that hand all the way over like we said, drop it in, and we're gonna back it up so that there's no space. I can't wiggle a finger under there. I like to go ahead and grab this finger and drive it kind of out right there so it's not blocking my trigger guard, but it gives me a fulcrum point I can pull against so I can really drive that pad high up in there. And that is looking really, really good. Now again, if your elbows are locked and the gun recoils, it's going to go down your arms, hit your shoulders, and bounce, and that's no good. So what we'll do is we'll give some shocks on that car with a slight bend. Good to go. Oh, it's looking so good, I can't stand it. Brilliant. Memorize it. Don't ever do anything different. Wonderful. This right here, I can see it's a little bit low, and I want to move all your bones up a little bit higher. So see how the skin, not fat, see, I'm married. I know the word to say.
You know better.
The skin and not the fat is up there. We get this thumb way up out of the way, and I want as much hand right there as possible. If you rotate this over, see this bone right here? I want this to be parallel to the slide. So if I grab that in right there, now you can see, if you turn the gun on its axis here, that this bone, from this bone all the way to the end of your thumb, is completely parallel to the slide, and that's good. And easy. It's not a button, it's a lever. And the goal is to keep it moving, Off and on, easy, off and on, easy, right? If you think button, you're gonna miss. A lot of people think that they're going smooth because they're saying it even. You're like, okay, prep, stop. And that last 10%, you dork it all up. You screwed up the only part that actually mattered. The last 10% of the trigger where you're like, all right, I'm playing John's game and it's time to get rid of the bullet. And man, that is bad, bad, bad. Staying dedicated 100% of that smooth pull without making it happen. It's not a button. Prep!
Not on the trigger. Right?
On the frame. Now we're gonna pull. Prep! Stop. Easy. That was better. Let's load the gun. Load the gun. Keep your guns pointed downrange. Don't point at the dirt. All right, and prep. Prep the trigger. Stop. Easy.
So
We're going to the head box, guys. Head box. Cease fire. Cease fire. Don't worry about making the gun fire. I don't really care about that. I just care about you fixing your sights, going prep, and then just keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. And don't worry about the stupid shot, right? All right, present. Prep, stop. Exhale through the mouth, and let's go. Easy. Brilliant. Oh, look at that dead center hit. Woo! Prep, stop. Exhale, and let's just go easy. Prep, stop, exhale, easy back. Wonderful, getting so much better. Let's lean forward a little bit more, aggressively into it. Fantastic, prep, stop. Wonderful, well, oops or not, you hit the target, so good job. Prep, stop, exhale, and easy, off and on. Easy, off and on. Easy, off and on. All right, folks, so Mike and Mary are crushing it. They had some early problems. Mike is really struggling to get that support hand up and get that right thumb out from under his hand. So a lot of his stuff is grip and platform stuff. Mary is a little bit running away from the gun where she wants to thrust it way out in front of her, and so she's a little bit off balance. Her elbows are locked, and I want her to bring those in, and so I've been giving them those kind of little key points. Both have some shot anticipation problems, but it seems like everyone's doing that a little bit, and yes, sometimes I do it a little bit, but I'm on a journey too. Anyway, they're getting much better. Really like seeing the journey, and they're at a happy place where they don't have a lot of bad habits that they're dragging into this stuff. They got good, teachable spirits and attitudes, and that's exactly what I need to make them better. So very satisfied of what I've seen so far, but we're gonna keep pushing. Not all tips and tricks regarding cover and concealment are created equal. There's one that's the great unforgivable sin of cover and concealment, and that's don't you dare flag. And what I mean by that is if you're pieing around a corner, hunting, searching for a target, if any part of your body, whether it's your elbow, your toe, your shoulder, if any part of your body can be seen by the potential bad guy before you see them, you start this clock, and if they see that, they're just timing it, and you can literally walk straight into a bullet, and you never even saw where it came from. Though we communicate that to students, no one had any idea what we meant by don't flag. So I came up with a language that allowed us to communicate not flagging really quickly, and that's a limit of advance. That's my horizontal line here, and then my ESB, that's my eye, shoulder, and base. So basically, if I present a firearm here, there's nothing sticking out on this side of my eye and my muzzle. So that as I pie around an access point on a piece of cover or concealment, whatever, as I'm pieing around, the first thing and only thing they see is my eye behind my muzzle, right? And so you can see as I'm interacting with this and pointing at you guys, if y'all saw me standing up, can you see me? I don't see you, and now I do, and now I do. And so that flag is just terrible as I'm coming around, and then they see me, and then there's the gun, and then they see me. And so that's the stuff that is, it's just so easy to get you hosed. So instead, if I pull my pelvis way over to exaggerate, which feels weird, looks weirder, but basically pull this pelvis over so that this shoulder sticks underneath my eye, and then I load this up so that this is a line, and then I can move that line around an axis point that keeps your body all up under that line, and you're able to always see the enemy at least at the same time, or sometimes you'll see them first. As you see, there's their elbow, there's their shoulder, there's their face. And you're able to basically pie around. So let's say I think there's a bad guy right outside there. He's fired a few shots, and I want to dance as well. So I've got my blaster here, good to go. I've got kind of my limit of advance here. I'm going to fix and stack my body with this pelvis coming way in, and then I'll be able to basically take that step and punch out, and I can make my hits. And this guy right here, when I shot him, there's no way he saw anything on me. And when he did, the very first thing he saw was eye behind muzzle. There was no warning. There was no chance. And in that first little half a second where he's like, it's already too late. Now you still got to acquire, identify, engage to make sure you're shooting bad guys and not good guys, so to speak. But that's how I'm basically doing it. And if you do it, it's a flag-proof system. Inexplicably come over to the other. shooting's fun, man. Get those LOAs, the ESBs, don't flag, and this is a great way to practice, but you really need a line coach calling the ball for you, right? Let's back up off that cover just a touch more. Go ahead and present down, and let's see it again. Let me muscle in here. Standing right, ready, fight. You're kind of taking such tiny steps that it's gonna feel a little bit like a sneak, and I'd rather you take a little bit bigger and say, mine. Gotcha. Okay. Fix that terrible grip. So it's that thumb. I wish I could duct tape your thumb up here. All right, very good. Here we go. All right, and let's zombie step around, but stop, look. So if you'll notice how far your foot is outside that eye-shoulder line. So we're blowing our ESB line. We want to pull that in closer, and we can throw this out as a bit of an anchor and really settle down onto it so that this foot doesn't give away our position. Very good. You don't have to squat so much. That looks like it's real hard on the legs. I would lean over on this one, stand up straight just a little bit more. It should be pretty more comfortable, and that's about all I'm talking about. Bring left foot. That's great. That's fantastic. And it's probably more muscularly easy, isn't it?
A little bit easier, yeah.
Yeah, very good. Cool. Looks good. So we're finishing up our training, and I am really just frankly blown away. They really started from nothing, and they have just continually over the last couple days got better and better, and we've culminated into kind of a stress fire drill. In this, a lot of people who are just, they feel the urgency and they're moving, and there's so many different moving pieces. It's easy as you're juggling 8 balls to drop a few. I think they're going to continue on with training, and that really makes me happy. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's not like just 2 courses and you're good for life. So it's more of a journey, and they fully embraced it, and that pumps me up.